Okay, Gio, I need you to sign here and here.
What is this exactly?
Is you agreeing not to press charges? I took a look, and apparently making someone watch Saint Dracula is a violation of the Geneva Convention.
I figured as much.
Yeah, so if you could just...
I felt violated. I felt like I've been taken advantage of.
Hey, I'm Merrick D'Amato.
And I'm slowly trying not to go insane.
And welcome back to Mindbreakers.
Yeah, the show that drives you up the fucking wall.
I did do an episode in between, but it is taking us some time getting over Saint Dracula 3D.
Yeah, it was just that bad, guys.
I don't think we mentioned it when we actually did the recording for that one.
Mm-hmm.
But we were doing that while severely sleep deprived.
Yeah, and that just made it worse. But hey, you know what? At least we brought it to the people's attention.
And
that
at least
entire episode is just a PSA on horrible 3D and just bad Dracula movies.
At least we're we kind of transcended, because we're now at the point with movies of, you have nothing to threaten me with.
Exactly.
And we're going to bring up our traitorous wheel that seems to like it's giving us great amounts of pain in 3, 2, 1. And let's see what it can produce for us today.
Instead of giving me a proper movie, it gives Mike Reanimator.
Life Force.
Life Force.
Life Force.
Okay, that sounds actually interesting. Very interesting. I'm quite intrigued. Life Force.
1985.
Wow.
A race of space vampires arrive in London and infect the populace.
Wow.
Also, you want to know who directed this?
Who?
Tobe Hooper.
Tobe Hooper.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Space vampires, though.
Space vampires.
Wow.
Ooh,
Okay.
Patrick Stewart's in this.
Oh, that's good. That's good. This actually sounds fun. This actually sounds like a movie that I'll enjoy. Holy fucking shit, guys. We're in for something nice.
We might not die this time.
Yeah, we might actually be in for a treat.
Yeah.
Wow, finally. Thank you, Wheel.
Let's watch this shit.
Serve it up.
They watched. They waited. Now their time has come. Out of the depths of space, the ultimate terror. Moving, searching, destroying. From body to body, from life to life, from man to woman. Changing, growing, burning for our life force. From the director of Poltergeist, from the special effects creator of Star Trek, the motion picture, Life Force. In the blink of an eye, the terror begins.
Well, that was a good one.
Damn good movie. I enjoyed the hell out of that. That is one of the best vampire movies I've ever seen.
I'd still put Van Helsing a bit higher.
Really? You like Van Helsing more than this?
This did not have Richard Roxburgh saying, "Oh, Gabriel."
but it had British men talking about the Dreamcast.
That's not what they said.
they might as well have been saying
Carson.
that. I know, but they might as well have been saying the Dreamcast. Because it sounded exactly like they were saying Dreamcast.
In a long running tradition for Mindbreakers, we open in space.
Like all of the best ones did.
Gumby.
Yeah. I still stand by it.
Gumby's not a
I stand by exactly what I said, okay?
Okay.
So they're flying around in a giant dick.
No, they're in a normal spaceship, but they find a giant dick.
Yeah.
That opens like an umbrella.
Well, spaceships are just giant dicks made by people to go in space.
True.
The shuttlecock, as I've stated.
Yeah, you did indeed say that, Gio.
Yes.
G-Man.
So,
Half-Life.
Half-Life. I'm not a government man. You can't call me G-Man.
I just did.
You shouldn't, though.
Well, that's a different thing. But you said I can't, which is obviously untrue.
So they pick up this long ship. I think it's like 150
miles
long, and approximately the biggest Twinkie in the world.
Spaceballs?
No, Ghostbusters.
Right.
And possibly the biggest Twinkie in the world. That's a big Twinkie.
That's a lot of fish.
It's a lot of fish.
It's a lot of damage.
So they're talking about what could possibly be on this thing, and like if there's any crew members. And
it's full of Satan.
Yeah, like anybody that's ever seen a sci-fi flick knows this thing is full of Satan.
All of the Satan.
It's full of the top keck of all Satans.
Top keck?
It's filled with like Baphomet. Baphomet, whatever. The pronunciation of the Bagul Bagibis.
Actually, you're right. We should not pronounce demons' names correctly. That might accidentally summon them.
Exactly.
Because as we've learned from Evil Dead, it is much, much easier to summon evil than it is to send it back.
It's so much easier to try to summon Lamagra than it is to put Lamagra back into the box.
Well, Lamagra is easy to put back in the box. Just had to get injected with science juice.
That's how you get rid of Lamagra?
Have you never seen Blade?
Oh, yeah, right.
He injects him with the serum and he explodes. It was hilarious.
Yeah, that was great. Oh, fuck, I missed that movie. I want to, like, watch all of them. Like,
No, you
over
don't.
again. I really do.
Even the third one?
Yeah, especially the third one. You think this is a joke? You think this is a fucking sitcom?
Yes.
So, they end up, like, boarding the ship. They're all, like, four of them? Four of them board the ship.
Yeah.
And they're floating
The
through
Fantastic
tunnel.
Four.
Yeah.
Look
the
at you.
Fantastic Four.
Fantastic.
That's still my favorite. So they're floating through the ship, and they're just like they're seeing like the pussy goo portal, like the pussy goo tunnel, and they end up getting to the.
It looks like it does look like an anus.
Yeah, they're going through this ship's rectum, and eventually they find bats because that's how long the ship's rectum's been here. That there's bats in it.
Yeah, they need to wipe more.
Yeah, for real. And they need to, I don't know, they need to go get like a colonoscopy or something eventually because like they got stalactites and what?
The ship's from Uranus. We're children.
Okay, that's great. No, that's worth it. That is damn worth that pun exactly. That is damn worth it.
We're children though.
So there's like big fucking bat people in the center of it, and they're like
we don't see the bat people yet though. The bat people come later.
Yeah,
right now they're just people.
The crew is like in like these cocoon bubbles.
Yeah, there are three of them.
Yeah, and they're like bat people mixed within them, and eventually they end up like going to like they go a little bit deeper, of course, and
because you always have to go deeper into this place you realize you really shouldn't be.
Yeah, they're talking about how like the ship has been lost for years. It's like there's
well,
like
on an outer space
bat
adventure, they were hit by cosmic rays.
In the not too distant future,
way down in deep 13,
they come across a giant starfish. Engulfs the ship entirely.
Yeah, that's the first outing of the Justice League.
They end up seeing this thing basically stretching over the ship. Like the ship's name is the Churchill, by the way.
Yeah. And
like the long ship has no name. It's just like sort of let's just call it the Bat ship.
So Batman has space. Obviously, Batman has
it's
space.
It's the Bat pod. it's the Batwing. But the Churchill ends up getting like engulfed by this big fucking. It looks like a giant starfish. It really does.
Though it also looks like a giant organic.
Yeah,
umbrella.
they describe it as like an organic looking giant umbrella, which also makes sense. But I would prefer it looking like I think of it as like a starfish.
Well, it's the umbrella thing is because it opens.
Yeah, but like also starfishes kind of like expand But like starfishes don't have like the webbed skin basically in between each appendage.
But
Like
this
thing
does.
Yeah, exactly. Like this thing does. But apparently it is radar transparent.
Yep.
And it engulfs the Churchill to the point that the crew that's inside of the batship loses signal.
Yep.
So they end up finding a girl and two guys in the middle of the ship.
Yes.
By this point, they only lose signal for like something like 30 seconds.
It's enough.
Yeah, exactly.
It's enough for the mission to get completely screwed over.
Yeah, and they eventually just like start saying like, yeah, we found a nude girl and two guys in like crystal pods, and they're like, we're gonna bring them back to the ship for further examination. They look like they're in a form of stasis or like deep sleep.
Yes.
And they look like they've been there for fucking years, you know? But like they look perfectly fine, you know? The ship around them looks like they've been here for like years, but they look like they're like in their fucking 20s still. So, and like the woman is described as like extremely beautiful.
I don't see it.
Yeah, but it's still like, okay,
I mean, she's
if you were
nice
out in
looking.
space for a long ass fucking time, you would probably think that she was beautiful also.
I mean, she doesn't look bad, but extremely beautiful may be a stretch.
Yeah, but like they end up like come on, think about it like this way: you're out in space for years and years and years,
There's a woman on
and
the...
you're just like, yeah, there's women on board and stuff, but you're used to seeing the same women over and over and over again.
Okay, then I guess.
You don't, yeah, exactly. You like, as the second you'd see this one, you'd be like, oh my god, she's fucking gorgeous, especially because she's like nude straight up in front of you.
True.
In a crystal container.
I don't see the sexual appeal of a crystal container.
She's the human.
Torch.
She's the human. No, she's the human. Like she's the human
Yes.
she's the human equivalent to a fucking caterpillar turning into a butterfly.
Okay.
Like that's basically what it is. It's
I
like
guess.
she's in a cocoon.
So this happens 3 years later.
Yeah, they end up 3 days later.
Right, 3 days. Sorry.
They end up getting they end up getting them down to Earth.
A lot of science talking happens.
Yeah, they're talking about trying to open the case
until the woman wakes up
in London.
And starts draining people of energy.
Yeah, it just shows like I love how it just like it cuts from like spaceship to Big Ben.
Yeah.
it's like oh okay, this is Big Ben, so we're in London like right away. It's just like that, you know. It's like doesn't pussyfoot around it.
No.
Everybody's so fucking British. I love.
Well,
this
they're
movie.
British.
I know, like I love this movie. Just
Well,
for, like,
Patrick's
the
it's so British. Patrick Stewart's involved.
Exactly, but like, man, it makes it more interesting.
Yeah.
Just like hearing these, I could listen to English people talking forever, man. Like British speaking is one of like my favorite things. I love British soaps.
I hate Coronation Street with a passion.
I don't like it much either, but it's still pretty good.
You liked Black Books.
Yeah, I love Black Books.
So she drains a guy, and he's like a crypt keeper-y desiccated husk. And then she semi-drains Mr. Sergeant Carson, Colonel Carson.
Yeah. She tells him, like, the first thing she says as soon as she gets up is, use my body.
Yes. So...
Well, no, she doesn't, like, say that. No, she doesn't say it right away. She ends up saying it to the other guy.
Right, yeah, Captain Carson. Colonel Carson.
Mm-hmm.
Captain Carson? Some rank starting with C, Carson.
He becomes a colonel, I think, after. Because he survives the crash. Yeah. Yeah, the ship crashes. They explained it like a couple of times. There was like a fire on board.
They explained it too many times.
Yeah. I'm going to explain it right now. There was a fire on board because they were trying to destroy the bodies with with a precision laser.
Yeah.
And it wasn't working. It just ended up sparking up a fucking fire that engulfed the entire
Because whenever the vampire chick feeds on a person, their skeletal corpse comes back and needs to feed as well 2 hours after.
Yeah.
And it's funny, because if they make any kind of strong impact against anything, they explode. It's hilarious.
Yup. They just basically become like dried out raisins. Well, dried out grapes. Yeah. They become human raisins.
Dry raisins, though.
Like
they're more like dry apple. Because dry apples actually like sun-dried like apple chips basically.
They ate a bunch of fucking warheads, and then just like it drained all of the life from them.
They just
like,
ate salt.
Exactly. They just like shriveled them up to the point that they became dust.
They're mummies basically.
They are the mummies.
60, 40, not important right now.
So
Get me
they end up.
singing the
She
whole
ends up
theme
leaving
song.
that room. Like
She gets into London. She steals clothes from a woman after draining her.
yeah. Oh, the two guards though.
Yeah, they're not important.
They end up dying.
Yeah, everyone ends up dying.
Well, this one old guard ends up seeing her pass by, and he ends up like calling it in. He's like, "You will not believe what I'm seeing." But like, you would think he would know exactly what they were holding in the middle.
Yeah.
Like a nude woman. If in the case of like something happening, it's like she ends up just getting up. He ends up phoning the other guards. These two other guards end up picking up. They're eating like fucking jelly on toast, and they're like talking amongst each other like, "Oh, a naked woman, eh?" It's like, "Yeah, I believe you so well, mate, yeah." And then she ends up walking into the room with them, and the old man is following her into the room, and she ends up draining both the guys.
Yep.
And no, she doesn't even drain them. She just like power word kills them.
Yep.
Like they just die immediately.
She runs off somewhere with clothes.
Mm-hmm. And she kills like another woman.
And then they go off looking for her and they find an insane asylum.
Uh-huh. Well, no, that's later.
Yeah, but we don't have to talk about everything, Gio.
Yeah, I know, but they find the insane asylum.
They find the insane asylum. Remember Patrick Stewart? We learned that she can possess people.
Mm-hmm.
This is a really really OP creature.
Yeah.
Well,
they're space vampires,
true.
Mary. Come on.
Which is what happened to the other two vampires with her. Is one of them put their brain in Patrick Stewart.
Yeah. Well, like, the thing is, like, the original three that they end up finding, the girl and the two guys, they're able to transfer their consciousness into other people.
We learned that the female space vampire really, really wants Captain Carson.
Yeah.
We don't know why yet, though.
Uh-huh.
And then they go back.
I guessed it was like he's probably one of them because he ended up surviving.
We go back to London and we realize, we've been away for a day.
Mm-hmm.
At most, and the city's already overrun with zombies
and
fireballs because the ship is attacking from orbit.
This is later on in the movie, by the way. Like we just kind of skipped ahead a lot.
Because there's a lot of stuff where nothing really happened and it's just talking.
A couple little things, but we'll get back to it.
Like
after.
the Professor Valdi finds out that you can kill them by stabbing them just below the heart where their energy is centered with leaded iron.
Yeah, and it's like
he gets
this big ass sword.
Very fantasy game looking sword.
It's the mythical like Excalibur.
Yeah.
It is the MacGuffin blade.
It is the blade of Sir MacGuffin.
Yes, Sir MacGuffin the Third, to be exact. You must always refer to them by their number.
So the Prime Minister gets eaten.
Mm-hmm.
Prime Minister of England. So, the captain. It's revealed to the captain that he is a space vampire. So he goes to mate with the female space vampire.
Yeah.
And as they're doing this, some other people escape from the Prime Minister in a helicopter while being chased by zombies. That one of them grabs
zombie soldiers.
One grabs his hand by accident and accidentally tears his own hand off and falls off.
Yeah.
He's stupid.
It's the equivalent IQ of a sloth.
Yep.
Just fucking grabs his own hand, slides the skin off of it, and falls off. The other one, I assume, falls off also. Yeah. But
then one of the other male vampires who was in Carson comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit's happening in a church, the cathedral, by the way.
It ends up getting like the fucking tornado of souls spiraling around it,
like ghost
spitting out
standard Ghostbusters.
It's spitting out like Palpatine lightning.
Yeah, standard Ghostbusters.
Gozer. I am the keymaster. Are you the gatekeeper?
I am the gatekeeper. One of the male there are a lot of dream sequences that are not important that we're not going to talk about.
Well, I'll touch on them.
Most of them are just him having sex with a woman.
Yeah.
It's not that interesting.
It's like a lot of the dream sequences are literally, just like him going at it with the girl.
He always wakes up screaming like Gio did from St. Dracula 3000. From St.
The morning after. And then,
So one of the male
the Englishmen
vampires-
asks him about the Dreamcast.
Yeah, that's what you heard, but it's not what he said.
Okay,
So
he literally says, "Can you tell me about the Dreamcast?" But it sounds exactly like, "Tell me about the Dreamcast."
Well, it had about 3 good games on it,
Mhm.
and the rest wasn't that interesting.
I liked Shenmue.
People like Shenmue for some inexplicable reason.
I liked Soul Calibur.
That one's pretty good.
Virtua Fighter was the shit.
So, they
After they play some Dreamcast for a while, they end
So
up...
we meet one of the male vampire comes out and turns into this badass bat creature
Yep.
who they just throw a sword at.
He just javelins the sword straight. Okay, honestly, this was a better kill. This was a better vampire javelin kill than the last movie we watched.
Oh, come on, anything in this is better than that.
But I have to point it out, because otherwise it will not be stated.
So they go into the church and they see a crater with light coming out of it that has Carson and the female vampire in it.
Mm-hmm.
What the Dr. Kane throws Carson the sword, and Carson rams it through the female vampire's back and then out through his back.
Yeah, basically just double stabs, because he knows he's one of them now,
and then
so he has to get rid of himself too.
And all the zombies die.
Yep.
And everyone lives happily ever after.
But not before they shoot into space!
Obviously, the military's plan was, we're going to nuke the city. No, that's a bad idea.
Hey, what else were they going to do, man?
Not nuke the city? Evacuate the people.
No. That's the boring way to deal with it, Merrick.
So, thoughts?
I want to go back a little
some
bit.
other things you want to touch on, I suppose.
I want to point out some stuff I actually really, really enjoyed about this. Some things that made it a good movie.
Yes.
Okay? For example, they end up pointing out that the crystal that they were being held in wasn't, actually crystal. It was essentially a force field. Which, that little detail makes it so much more, surreal. It's just you know exactly how out there this movie is just from those tiny little minute details, the little things they mention here and there,
I like the movie.
Exactly, it was a great movie. They end up talking about life after death because vampires are essentially The Walking Dead. They are undead.
Oh, they drain life force, by the way.
Yeah, they drain out
the title.
life force. Yeah, exactly. They end up just sucking it out of them. And you know what? That gives them power, but they need to recharge after every 2 hours because they are reanimated corpses.
Yeah.
So it makes perfect sense that a reanimated corpse would need double the energy after coming back from the dead.
More than that. We don't have to eat every 4 hours.
4 times the normal amount of energy, And the doctor even points out it's all living beings are kind of vampiric in nature because
I found that very
take the energy from other things.
I didn't like that monologue.
Yeah, we had a bit of a discussion about this.
Because for me, it's that usual the shit vampires always say of, "Oh, you humans are not so different." No, you're evil. Shut up and die.
But even if you consider vegans, dude, vegans even eat plants.
No, dude, I have never
I've
never considered vegans morally superior to me.
I never said they were morally superior.
The ones who are really, really into the veganism tend to be jackasses.
Mm-hmm. I know.
I don't care what you eat.
But they're just exactly. They're humans. They're just everybody else.
Okay, if anyone watching, if you're a vegan, it's fine. Fine, your life choices. Good for you.
Yeah.
The vegans I don't like are the ones who go around
boasting,
talking about it, and criticizing others for not being vegan. It's
yeah. If you're just gonna be,
that's why you don't have friends.
Yeah, if you're just gonna be that vegan, and just rubbing it in everybody's faces, thinking that you're genetically superior to literally everyone, fucking just go in a hole and masturbate, because just fuck yourself. Fuck yourself in the grotto, because honestly, no one wants to hear it. No one ever wants to fucking hear it.
So what else do you want to talk about before we rate this movie and call it an episode?
I wanted to mention that the two guys basically look like fucking underwear models, just waking up and walking after those like two soldiers that shot them.
They both have green eyes.
Yeah, they looked like these vampires.
Haley's Comet is involved vaguely.
How?
That's what they go to what the astronauts are searching for.
Oh, really? That's what they were looking for?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that that's what they were looking for. Fuck, well, if they were looking for that, then, yeah, they were bound to come across something. Fuck. But they end up coming across a ship. It's like, okay, we're looking for Haley's Comet. We come across this fucking long-ass ship.
I'd leave it alone and not get myself murdered.
Yeah, because, like, you don't know if you're going to walk on there into the set of Alien or fucking Dead Space. Like, you don't know what the fuck's in there.
Oh, Dead Space is the set of Aliens.
Well,
it's the set of Alien.
It's the set of Alien. It's, well, like, honestly, like, yeah, they're, like, very heavily based off of, yeah.
And the third one's awful.
Yeah, the autopsy on the guard.
Yeah.
In this movie, man, that was a
he
really
wakes
cool
up
scene.
screaming and eats a guy.
I was not expecting that. Like, the second he, like, opens his eyes and, like, hops up, I was like, oh, fuck, this movie's getting good.
I was expecting it.
I wasn't.
I was like, because the first image I saw of Life Force was his face, like, with the open eyes, and I was like, oh!
Yeah. Okay, well, I've never seen anything from this movie.
Interestingly, the pathologist he feeds on, when he wakes up, there's no food around him, so he charges at the bar trying to get through and explodes into dust. It's hilarious.
Yes, I was going to get to that part.
And there's also the woman that was fed on who just shrieks in her, on the bed she's tied to, then explodes.
Yeah. Like, all of the corpses dying sequences were actually pretty cool.
Always well done.
Yeah, they end up like...
I mean, we shouldn't be surprised it's Tobe fucking Hooper.
Yeah. Like,
though I do not like the Leatherface of the Sawyer family, the first two Texas, especially the second Texas Chainsaw Massacre, is one of my favorite horror experiences.
I'll always love the first just because of how goofy it was.
But no, I like the first because it works and it's like a kind of pseudo documentary style for its movie.
Yeah, it is.
But I love the second one for how over the top it is.
Yeah.
Like with the corpse guy and the Oingo Boingo music.
Yep. But like the first one's classic, man. It's just like it just is what it is. It's so raw.
And I like the video game based on it.
Yeah.
I don't mean the Atari game.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool to play as Leatherface. I mean Resi 7.
Yeah, but it's just funny to like see him just like going around bonking people, like just in the rawest
with
fashion.
A hammer.
Yeah, exactly.
So, anything else you want to say about this movie before we score it and call it a day?
A couple of small little things.
Yeah, oh, cool! I got the JonTron mask.
The JonTron mask?
Yeah, the JonTron mask.
Going apart.
To teach you to review Food Fight.
Oh yeah, that. He's got like a fucking masquerade mask.
I have a lot of masks in this room.
Yep. That you do. Almost as many as I have in my room. Man. I'm looking around from at all of these things and just like figuring out like what we passed by and what we did. Oh yeah. When they mentioned the asylum, oh man. I was just like, okay, they're already outmatched. Can you imagine when it gets into, like, the mind of a fucking, like, serial killing mass murderer? Like, how screwed they're gonna be at that point? You can't scare me.
Not screwed at all. Not screwed at all, because the vampire mind would override the other mind.
Still, though, like, they're in the mind of somebody that, like...
Okay, so
they're in the body of somebody that has like killed before.
So you're saying that
for fun.
So a space vampire merging itself with a serial killer.
Yeah, that's just even scarier.
So Carnage.
No, that's something else.
What are symbiotes if not space vampires?
Not space vampires.
Dude, they feed on adrenaline.
Yeah, but they feed off of adrenaline. They're symbiotes. They're basically leeches. They attach to a host. These ones don't just attach to a host. These ones literally possess the fuckers.
So if Cletus. So if the Carnage symbiote went into Michael Morbius,
that would be hell. You would have a fucking infinite killing machine right there. You would have an unstoppable killing machine.
like Frank Castle.
Basically.
Ain't nothing stopping me but a bullet.
Mm-hmm. They were chasing the girl. Oh yeah, the guy was able to channel the girl.
Yeah.
And like when they were chasing the girl down, they were mentioning the fact that there were no new bodies because she wasn't killing them all. She wasn't killing them all like immediately. She was just draining enough energy out for them to change, which I was like, oh, that's actually smart of her. Fuck, that is extremely clever. She can like cover her tracks because they're just like other versions of herself moving around, and that probably led to the zombie apocalypse near the end. And I liked that fact. There's the scenes inside of it with Patrick Stewart.
He's always great.
Patrick Stewart screaming.
So what would you rank this movie, Gio?
I could give it a couple of Professor Charles Xavier's screaming at the top of their lungs while racing Magneto in wheelchairs out of human butterflies.
I'm going to give it 6 exploding corpses.
Oh, that's good. 6 exploding corpses should be a band name, actually. I'm going to take that.
I've been Mark D'Amato.
And I guess I've been a puff of dust.
And we'll see you all next time.
Later.
Ciao.